Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I'm going to be doing my May wrap up. My June TBR will not be in this just because I read a lot of books this past month and there would just not be enough time for me to fit everything in without like a lot of minutes that you probably don't want to spend watching me. So we're just going to put that in a different video. So you guys will have 2 videos this week. Yay! So I read a lot in May. I read 13 books. Yay. So, one of the reasons why I read so many books in May was because the last books that I had read in April, I think. Yeah, April. They were the selection books, selection series. And those were so good. Like, I finished the one in one day. Seriously. They were just so stinking good. So, I was just on, like, this reading train. I don't know. I was going fast through my reading. So, yeah. I also have another reason why. And so to get to that, we'll just get on with the video. So I have these books in order. The ones that I read in May, I read them in this order. Okay. So the first book that I read was Lost in a Book by Jennifer Donnelly. And this was the other reason why I read so many books in May. That was because of Belle. Now, whenever I was like reading one of my other books, I'd think, do I want to keep reading this? And then a little voice in my head going, yeah, Belle would read it. She reads all the time. So I was like, yeah. And I just read a lot. And I finished books very fast after I finished this book. This book is actually my favorite book. It's pretty. I just think the idea is really cool, like going into a book to a different world. That's like really cool. Not a lot of like action type things happen, but it was like so a really good story. And you should definitely give it a try. If you don't like it as much as I do, sorry, but I really liked it. So we might not have the same taste, but I really did like this book. So obviously I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I read this book in 3 days. 3 or 4 days. I think it was more like 3. And I had read this right after Lost in a Book, so obviously I read it pretty quickly. I was surprised that I didn't cry. I was expecting it to be like really sad, but I kind of already knew what was going to happen. So I don't know if that changed my perspective of this book or not, but it wasn't that sad for me. Maybe the movie will be sadder. I haven't seen the movie yet. But I did give this book a 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was The Finisher by David Baldacci. This was actually a reread because I had gotten the sequel for Christmas, and I had read this when I was like in 3rd grade, and I could not remember a thing from it. So I had to reread it, and it was actually pretty good. I didn't remember it being this good. So I'm glad I read it again, and it definitely helped with the sequel. And 5 stars. I give like every book that I like even a little bit, pretty much 5 stars. Yeah, it's not good sometimes. Okay. The next book that I read in The Finisher comes in or leads us into The Keeper by David Baldacci. And this is the sequel to The Finisher, obviously. I don't know which one I like better. They were both really good. Yeah. I don't know how long it took me to read this one. But I did like this. Maybe 2 or 3 days first. Anyway, 5 out of 5 stars. Okay, the next book I read was A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray. I am going to probably upset a ton of people by saying this, but I did not like this book. It was boring, and not much happened. I thought, like, the beginning, it sounded, like, really good, like, woo, and then it just died. The story died. I am not going to finish this series, trilogy, I don't know what it is. But I just did not like this book at all. If you want me to read the next few books in the series, then you better give me good reason why to read it, why I should go pick it up, because this was just not good. I gave that a 3 out of 5 stars. Yeah, even when I don't like a book, I'm nice and I give it more than it should deserve. Okay, 3 just fine. Okay, so when I was reading this, oops, I'm coming out of the picture. Sorry. Okay. When I was reading that, I started slowing down on reading again, just because I was like, yeah. But these next few books got me into reading again. Yay! And that would be Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. Oh my gosh, this book was whoa. Like, it was whoa. That's my only word for it. Whoa. Like, okay. This was so good. I liked it more than the first book, which is surprising because I usually like the first book better than the second or third books. But Chaol, oh my gosh, Chaol. I had always wanted Chaol instead of Dorian for some reason. I don't know why, but I was like always rooting for Chaol, and in this, it's not really a spoiler. Not really. But, you know, you should probably have read this book and the other ones before you watch this. Okay. And obviously, 5 out of 5 stars. Okay. The next one is Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. Okay. This book, I actually slowed down reading again, just because for me it seemed slow paced. Like, okay, spoilers are coming. Selena was in Wendlin. Is that what it's called? Let me check. Let me go to the map. Yep, Wendlin. And it, like, the whole training process just seemed slow and boring. So I slowed down reading again, but it was still a good book. So 5 out of 5. I just have to say that has to be my least favorite book out of the series so far, just because it was slower paced than everything else. Okay, the next book I read last month was Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. Wow. Oh, gee whiz, this was really good. much more action-packed than Heir of Fire, and oh my gosh, I so did not expect Rowan. Well, kind of. I was still rooting for Kale in Heir of Fire, but then when she comes back to Adarlan, I was like, it's over with. So, oh well. But I hope they end up together. Okay. 5 more books to go. The next book I read was Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. Well, Harry Potter and Sorcerer's Stone. This was my 5th time reading this book. Yes, 5 times. I am reading this for Zoe's, Zoe from Read by Zoe, readathon, Harry Potter readathon. So that's why I read that book again. But I was eventually going to read it this summer anyway. So, now I read it. Yeah. The next book I read was Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. This was my 2nd time reading this book, but my copy was different, and this book is actually bigger than the other one, like where Harry and Ron like scribble stuff in the margins and stuff. So this was different. So I'm glad I read this. Okay. The next book has to do with like the 27 facts about me, where I said my dog Maggie died. My family is looking to get a new puppy, but before we do, we all had to read this book. How to Raise the Perfect Dog by Cesar Millan. If you've seen Dog Whisperer, then you know who this guy is. Everybody should know who he is, even if you haven't seen his show, but that's a familiar name. Okay, I just forgot. I give everything that I just showed you 5 stars. Okay, 4 back to 7. This book, I don't know what to say. It was an instructional guide on how to raise a dog. The perfect dog. So, I gave this 4 out of 5 stars just because the chapters were insanely long. They were like that thick. So thick. Oh. Okay, my back hurts. Oh, okay. Reposition again. Okay, 2 books left. And these books are like really short, so I read them, both of these, within 30 minutes. So, the first one is Harry Potter, the Cinematic Guide. I think I'm saying that right. And these are just so short and so easy to read, but I count them because every book you read counts, even if it is a school book. So, yeah. So, I gave that 5 stars. Just because I didn't know what else to rate it, because I don't know how you would rate this book. Okay, and the last book that I read for the month of May was Hermione Granger, the Cinematic Guide. And I gave this 5 stars just because I don't know, like, what to give it. So 5 stars, hey! It's not like it really matters anyway, does it? Okay, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was really long, but I warned you. I read 13 books this month, so that is crazy. But I did it, and so can you if you pick the right books. Read the Lost in a Book, please. It will make you want to read more. Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys go. Don't forget to hit that like button. Please leave a comment down below and go subscribe. Okay, See you guys next time. Bye. Bye. Goodbye. Good day. This is a made-up song. Maybe. I don't know. The tune is so familiar.